Just seen a replay. Surely that was a penalty for Burnley.
Yeah, I think it certainly was. It's a lovely ball from Brady through to Chris Wood, who just nicks the ball away from Joe Hart, who's sliding out, and he's saying that he's pulled his arms away, which he did.
Yeah.
But he made contact with the rest of his body on Chris Wood and brought him down the penalty area. So 100% should have been a penalty to Burnley, which would have given them the chance to level things up with their one-man advantage.
He definitely didn't bring him down with his hands, but he did with the rest of his body, and that would have been a chance for Burnley to equalise after West Ham went in front in the most Route 1 fashion that you could imagine. Look at that. Joe Hart's got an assist straight down the pitch. Complete mess up in the Burnley defence. Nick Pope doesn't deal with it either, and Antonio runs in his first goal since March. But since then, Andy Carroll has been sent off. We saw Arnautovic sent off at Southampton early in the season. Ill discipline. It just looks all a bit ragged, doesn't it, West Ham?
Well, we've kind of seen this from Andy Carroll before. You know, he's not. This is not sort of completely out of the blue, but he does the same thing. He gets the yellow card, which probably should have been a red initially. So it really could have got 2 red cards in this game, which is crazy for him to have gone and done the second thing.
Yeah, Rachel, there's been fan reaction to Andy Carroll sending off. This is from Logan Krupa, who says, stupidity there by Andy Carroll. He needed to take a deep breath to settle down. Instead, he's now out of the game. Journalist Andrew Greaves says, cannot believe a player could be as silly as Carroll there. 2 bookings in 2 minutes, practically for the same offence. And our very own Gary Lineker has also tweeted, he says, Andy Carroll has been given the elbow for overusing his elbows.
Well, Tim, from a manager's point of view, frankly, Slaven Bilic is relieved it's not a 3-game ban, that he didn't get a straight red for the second one, as he should have done. But he's still, Bilic will be incandescent with what he's done.
Totally. I'm not only for this game, but he's crucial for him. You know, you're right. He's lucky he's only going to be a 1-game ban, but Andy Carroll is crucial for this West Ham side. He's got back into it, picked up a few results. Today, it's all going well for him. It's not as if it's frustration there today. It's just stupidity. He's let his side down.
And they're 1-0 up, and they've got to play, just about an hour now with 10 men defending a lead. Right, poor old Thomason's got some stick from his dad a moment ago, but should he have had a penalty?
Yeah, definitely, and it's not being biased. Tim saw it himself. It was one long ball straight up the park, a bit like West Ham just scored, and he's run through between Olsen and Fernandez, and he's got to the box, and he just kind of crossed legs with Olsen, and he just took his legs, and it should have been a penalty.
He's gone down too easily, Paul.
What are you trying to say?
I'm down too
What
easily.
are you trying to say? Is it not a penalty or not?
No, I don't think it
does it matter if you go down easy or not? If it's a penalty, it's a penalty. It's
I think if it was anything, it would be a free kick outside the box. I think he's got to be stronger there, Paul.
I think he's.
He has. I mean, even you've seen that again. He's got to be a bit stronger.
It's still a penalty.
That's outside the box.
But it's still a penalty.
Tim, is it a penalty?
I think it is a penalty. I think he's entitled to wait for contact, and that's what he gets. It's up to the defender to be very careful once he's in the penalty area, and he makes contact with Tom, and he's entitled to go down.
How can there be a penalty? The initial contact is outside the box. It can't
he still
be a
makes
penalty.
contact
inside the box.
Yeah. Let's ask the man who knows, Graham Poll. OK, Graham, a couple of penalty decisions for you to talk about. First one, this one with Thomas Ince at Huddersfield.
I tell you what, his dad must be. He would never have gone down that easy. Not in a million years, the governor, never. Anyway, I don't think it's a penalty. I think I have to agree with Chris Sutton, unfortunately. Initial contact is outside the box. I don't see a further contact within it, so for me, not a penalty.
But it's a foul, though, isn't it? Graham, it is a foul, isn't it?
There's a foul.
Why is the referee not give a foul?
Yes, it's
then?
a foul. It's outside.
Yeah, but why does the referee not give a foul
because he didn't see.
You said it was a
penalty. I guess he didn't see the contact, Paul.
Oh, that old chestnut.
But Joe Hart's got away with one there, Graham. That was a nailed-on penalty at Burnley, surely.
Yeah, I mean, you can't disagree with the goalkeepers' union. Rachel sees it as a penalty. It's clearly a penalty. He got away with one for England, and he's come out there and he's tried to pull the hands out of the way to say no contact.
Oh my!
He's wiped the player, Chris Wood's legs out. It's a clear and easy penalty.
Rotherham 1, Scunthorpe 0 in League One. In the Scottish Premiership, Ross County 0, Hearts 1. Sunderland haven't won at home since December 2016. The last time, this is amazing, the last time they won a game, Patrick Van Arnholt scored. The last Crystal Palace player to score, because it's now an own goal from Aspilicueta. And they're losing again at home, Sunderland, to QPR. Drissa Silla after 37 minutes with the goal there. And a red card in the cup for Tom Bushell at Eastleigh.
Yeah, the afternoon gets worse for Eastleigh here this afternoon, Mark. It's Andrew Boyce for Eastleigh who's been sent off. Straight red card as well, slid in just at the edge of the box. The resulting free kick didn't result in anything for Hereford, but they're certainly on top now and looking like they'll make it to the first round of the FA Cup proper. They're still 1-0 up, but Eastleigh are down to 10 men.
Oh, great strike from Andros Townsend, just shaped away from the far post.
Yeah, wonderful strike from Andros on his left foot. He controls it from one touch and then whips it away from the goalie, and he's inches away from making it 2-1 to Palace. But him and Zaha playing in 3 roles there today. They are Mavericks. We said it before, and they said it can open up. They're certainly getting the crowd on the edge of their seats, but them two are causing Chelsea all sorts of problems.
Right, Tim, Roy Hodgson said earlier that there's a big psychological factor with Zaha coming back and being able to play again. He actually said, I think it would be wrong to put too much pressure on him at the moment. Do you agree with that?
I think that you stick all the pressure. If he feels like he's under pressure today, then they want to keep him like this because he's been outstanding. I mean, it's his first game back. He wouldn't have played many. He might have played another 21 game to get himself fit. But him and Townsend are playing very fluid, just rotating positions, turning up, getting at centre halves, running at them, causing all sorts of problems, them two. So whatever pressure he feels, he needs to keep the same pressure for the rest of the season.
I think he like that pressure, especially with Benteke out. I mean, it's a hard strike when he's the type of person who likes to be the main man. And I think that Benteke, I think he embraced that pressure too for me.
We're looking for positives for them, and we certainly had it today. They've scored their first goal, and they're unlucky not to be ahead in this game.
Oh, Fabregas just over the top from the free
Really
kick.
behind, though.
Yeah. Willian ran over it, and he whipped it in.
Yeah, it's a great technician, isn't he, Cesc? He's already delivered for the goal for Bakayoko from a corner. He just whips that. It was always on the rise and always going over. But with Chelsea, you just never know. Even if they're not in the game, they've got players who can win a game in an instant. Oh, my God.
Ross County won, Hearts won, and Aberdeen, Stephen Craigan, are going top as things stand.
They certainly are, Mark, and what a goal it was this afternoon from Gary Mackay-Steven. It was great build-up play. Stevie May picked the ball up in the middle of the pitch. He just lifted his head. Gary Mackay-Steven playing off the right-hand side, made a little diagonal run in behind Hibs left-back Lewis Stevenson. He completely didn't see him. Mackay-Steven got through, slid the ball under Ross Laidlaw, and it's the Red Army to my left-hand side who are doing all the singing. 1-0 Aberdeen.
Unbelievable. 1-0 Swansea, Pooh.
Terrible defending.
Well, it's the keeper, honestly, it's unbelievable play. It's been all Huddersfield have been absolutely dominant for the last 20 minutes. He passes it back to the goalkeeper, I think it's Anchor. Instead of just hoofing it, he tries to be clever. Tries to pass it out to Smith, and there's Tommy Abraham to tap in. Absolutely terrible goalkeeping.
Tom Carroll spotted the pass out and intercepted.
Just hoof it.
Squared it.
Don't try and be clever, just get it back up the field.
He's trying to pass it to the right back, isn't he? It actually hits his heel. It's a terrible
Just
error.
kick it up the park. I mean, honestly, Dave Wagner must be going absolutely bananas because that is terrible. Just Swansea have been absolutely diabolical, and that's just given them a right lifeline, that goal.
First time that Swansea have led at home this season. Is that one of those classic ones where we're now sort of seemingly we're all expecting the goalkeepers to play it out every time, and there are certain times you need to whack it?
Yeah, sometimes you've got to be pragmatic. It's not all about trying to be clever and try and be like centre midfield players. The ball's there to be kicked, get up the park and push up, and we go from there.
I do think, though,
sometimes you can overplay.
I do think that if he's made that decision, his manager has given him the right to play that way. You know, with certain goalkeepers, it is just, clear it. And granted, it's a terrible decision from the goalkeeper, but he's blatantly been told by his manager, I want you to play the ball.
No, JJ, what I'm going to say for a goalkeeper or any player on that park, sometimes you have to make your own decisions.
Yeah.
Not what the manager tells you to do. You can't play like robots.
That pass was never on, was it?
Never on. So he's got to go long.
Kilmarnock appointed Steve Clarke this morning. He's not in charge, but they're leading at Partick Thistle. Confirmation of Tammy Abraham's goal just before half-time. So very hectic first half in the Premier League. This is where we are. Burnley 0, West Ham 1. Antonio scored and Andy Carroll sent off. City absolutely cruising. Oh, Stoke. Well, City cruising 3-1 now.
It's the first...
Two for score.
Yeah, well, it's the first attack on goal. I mean, I don't know whether City have switched off here. It was pretty simple, really. A ball down the right-hand side. He's got past, I think it's Fabian Delph, a little bit too easy. Actually, it's a lovely bit of play between Diouf and Esse. But then it's a big deflection from the strike. Fabian Delph gets himself back into position to get a block. The awareness from Esse to kind of just lay the ball off to Diouf is lovely. But as I said, huge deflection.
Yeah, I think Edison's got that otherwise, hasn't he?
He has, but, I mean,
Yeah, well,
they're back in it. I mean, at one point we were talking 82% possession for Manchester City, and they're absolutely cruising. Do I see Stoke getting back into it after that? No, I don't. But it's a lifeline, I suppose.
Yeah, Edison's right behind that, Rachel, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Yep.
I mean, it's a great endeavour from Delph to get back because he covers some yards to get back and absolutely launches himself to try and block it, but in the end, inadvertently, it goes into the goal.
Yep. Crystal Palace won, Chelsea won, then Swansea won up on Huddersfield after that terrible mistake by Lözil, the Huddersfield goalkeeper. And Tottenham on the attack, but can't break down Bournemouth just yet, Chris, at Wembley, 0-0.
No, and Tottenham have actually changed formation. They've gone to a back four, but fair play to Bournemouth. They're dogged, they're determined, they're defending deep, but Tottenham just haven't had enough guile in that final third. Harry Kane has had a half chance, got stuck under his foot. Begovic made a save you'd expect him to make, but you have to say there seems to be doubt at Wembley Stadium. I just don't get it.
Well, Tottenham have won all their away games, but have drawn.
Oh!
And Hope Palace back in front. Zaha scored.
Yeah, that man's
Palace.
Zaha. Yeah, Zacco, great ball inside. He just makes a run directly towards the goal and just slips it underneath the goalkeeper. It's a great finish from someone, the liveliest player on the field.
Look at the way he's celebrating as well. Does he look better to you, Tim, as you mentioned it earlier, as the biggest fish in a small pond, rather than being at Man United where he's one of the tiddlers and he gets lost?
Well, certainly, yeah. I mean, it didn't happen for him, did it, at Manchester United? But I think that he's done very well here since he's been backed. He's loved. He's talked about that, how much he's loved at the club. He's very direct, he can be hit and miss, we know that, but today he's certainly a hit, and it's his first game back, and he's absolutely fantastic. He steered it past the goalkeeper there. It's fantastic.
Talking about direct, that was Saka. We just great save by Butland to stop it being 4-1.
Yeah, I mean, it's another bit of brilliant play from Manchester City. Patient build-up between Silva and Gabriel Jesus, who feeds it to Leroy Sané, gets the ball on the edge of the box, Kevin De Bruyne, and this is where he's so dangerous. When he gets that 18 yards out, and you know he's going to get a strike on goal, but in fairness to Butland, gets himself in a good position and makes a very good save to his right-hand side and tips it around.
0-0, half-time confirmed at Tottenham. Upset Tom Bushell on the cards with you there at Eastleigh.
Come on, Zen.
Yeah, it's not going Eastleigh's way today at all. You can see behind me the fans have got very quiet through the course of this first half. Hereford are now 2-0 up, and to be honest, against 10 men, it's getting very easy for them. They just walked it round the back of the Eastleigh defence, and Garen Preen slipped at home to double their advantage just ahead of half-time. It's 2-0 to Hereford here.
Tom, you've got some friends behind. You can ask them to go and get you a cup of tea as you're busy. Let's talk to Graham Poll about the Swansea goal, which was horribly given away by Huddersfield. But, Graham, have you been looking at potentially offside in the goal?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. So Carroll gets the ball from the keeper, and Ayew is probably in an offside position as the ball's played in, but he dummies it through his legs, and Abraham scores. So as he hasn't played the ball, he's not interfering with play, and as he hasn't got in the way of the goalkeeper or affected a defender playing it, he's not deemed as interfering with play. One of those that players don't like, but technically not offside.
But he's standing in front of the goalkeeper. Surely he is impeding the goalkeeper in the sense that he's making the goalkeeper wonder what he's got to do.
No, that's not. Law's very specific. He has to be directly in the line of the ball being played. So if Ayew was in between Carroll and the keeper, he'd be seen as offside, but he's not. The ball's being played square across, so he's not in direct line of the goalkeeper, so not deemed offside. OK, a half-time whistle's going everywhere there. So it's Burnley 0, West Ham 1. Half-time everywhere now, so these are the half-time scores. Burnley 0, West Ham 1. Manchester City 3, Stoke 1. Goalless at Wembley, Tottenham and Bournemouth. Crystal Palace back in front at home to Chelsea by 2-1. Wilfried Zaha, the first Palace goal scorer since Patrick Van Aanholt on the 14th of May, because the first goal, actually, which we thought Kabay had scored, goes down as an Azpilicueta own goal. And Swansea 1, Huddersfield 0. Watford Arsenal at 5:30. What a half. Back in a couple of moments.